I think I finally figured it out. I think I finally figured out what the problem is with and in America. It came to me as as if it was meant for me to understand. But I think I finally figured it out. The problem with America is black people. It's gotta be. The problem with America is black people. Think about it. The founders of this nation created a blueprint, right? And it was an overwhelming blueprint. And it had a particular people in mind, right? Then, somewhere around 1619, slaves come over on slave ships and they enter the country deemed as three-fifths of a person, right? They created this system, right? This system created slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, um, incarceration for slavery after a certain amendment was passed, um, segregated schools, mass incarceration. I mean, the list went on and on. And what did black people do? Had the audacity to keep winning, had the audacity to keep succeeding, had the audacity to continue to rewrite the blueprint. So it's our fault. We the reason why America's messed up because we clearly don't know how to stay in our place. We don't know how to follow the rules. We don't get it. You know what I'm saying? We don't get it. We we had the nerve after 1865 to start being business owners. And then when the term CEO came, we had the nerve to be CEOs of Fortune 500 businesses. We had the nerve to become, we invented pretty much everything that we use on a daily basis in modern life. What the hell's wrong with us? Like, what the hell's wrong with us for real? Like, we had the audacity to continue to rewrite the blueprint. And then we wonder why America's messed up because we keep screwing up the blueprint. That's not how it was supposed to go. You dig? That's not. That's not how the blueprint was supposed to work. The blueprint was supposed to work like this. It was supposed to work. We come over here, uh, work until we die, and continue to teach generation upon generation to do that. In a way, we did. It's just the new plantation is the streets. You make a little bit more money. Nah, you're actually making considerably more money than you did during slavery. But the streets is the new plantation. And whether the Willie Lynch letter was actually written by a dude named Willie Lynch or not, the mentality that he spoke of lasted for 1,000 years, that was real. So yeah, we the reason America's messed up, you know. And I seen uh they had like a billboard, and that billboard said, "Black people, jacking up our blueprint since 1619." Hey, well, from between 1619 to 1865, dot 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 and beyond. We gonna get into some stuff tonight on Notoriously Opinionated. Let's go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call that the audacity report. Black people fucking up the system since 1619. The audacity of these people to keep jacking up our system. What's wrong with them? Didn't they understand what they was brought over here to do? Clearly we didn't. Clearly we did not understand the plan or the program. And we're not gonna understand. We got a complete misunderstanding about that. We are dyslexic, illiterate, and all kind of stuff in regards to that, you know. But people keep saying that the system is broken. The system is not broken. It's not. The system is running completely and according to the precise plan that it was meant to run at. The system's running great. There's nothing wrong with the system. We jack it up every now and then. You know, they didn't really want us to be where we at and be as successful as we are, you know. And it's not even like we've reached the height of success that we can and will reach in time. But think about it. I've I've likened it in the past to the literal board game, the game of life, right? It for real is like the game of life, right? You gotta look at it from say the 15th century until the 19th century. This land had slaves, right? We came over during the Middle Passage, and for centuries did not get a chance to even put our pieces on start. We didn't get a chance to put our pieces on start. So we never got a chance at playing the game, right? Let alone get good at it. We weren't supposed to be able to read, and yet we learned how to read. And then those that didn't learn how to read learned how to fake it till they make it. It's a whole lot of people that became successful never knew how to read. Never knew how to read. You know. So we we go on this centuries long passing of the turn, right? If you play the board game life, right? Let's say let's say a century is not even 100 turns. We're not even gonna say it's 100 turns. Let's say a century is 10 turns. You don't get to start your first thing. You don't get to put your piece on start and actually go for your first turn for 10 turns. Oh, but it's 4 centuries. So that's 40 turns, right? You don't get to start for 40 turns, but everybody else does. By the time you get started in the actual game of life, right? The game liable to be over. Somebody that became a doctor, got all kind of certifications and degrees and whatnot, and you just now starting trying to figure out whether you're gonna go to college or hit the workforce. You know, knowing you need money, you ain't got time to go to college. You know, you gotta hit them streets. You know, damn, ain't that what happened in real life? Hmm, that's crazy. But I'm gonna start calling that the audacity report. You know what I'm saying? Like just like the audacity of black people to keep on winning when the system was designed for us to forever fail. You know what I'm saying? Not for some to eventually succeed and everybody else fail. No, the system was built for us all to always fail. Period. And the fact that you have black billionaires is a testament. You know, it is what it is. Till it ain't. All right. So Another thing I wanted to talk about on the show is I wanted to recap a little bit from last week. You know, and I said I was going to start doing at least two or three of the things that men need just in life, right? I believe last week I did purpose, and purpose blended in with competence and respect. Those two things key. They are they are of eminent importance. Purpose and competence, as well as um, purpose and confidence and respect. There's no man on the planet, right? You can look at Facebook, you can look at social media, you can look at anything you want to look at, right? When they go around and ask men, uh, what are your top 4 or 5 most important things in a relationship? Most men have respect at the top. Oh, I got to be respected. Most women are going to put love at the top because that's the most important thing to them. It's not that men don't want to be loved. Don't misconstrue it. It's just, if you're giving us love but not giving us respect. If love is up here and disrespect is not even on the list, that's not going to work, right? And there is kind of a thing out there as to whether women actually know what it is that can be done by them to disrespect a man. They recognize disrespect when it comes at them, but do not necessarily pick up on what disrespect is when it's coming at the man, right? Men, women, I believe, are kind of oblivious to being disrespectful, you know, because you look at social media and it's like a chick will spaz out on a dude, put a finger on his face, slap him, and don't feel like that's disrespectful, you know. Well, I'm a girl, I can do that. Hold up. I work with young men and young women, and I am very strict on boys putting their hands on girls. And so when I have a group of them, I group it like this: A, you are not under any circumstances to put your hands on any of these little girls aggressively. If y'all playing tag, you happen to push her a little too hard, that's one thing. It's not intentional. But if you intentionally hit this girl because she did or said something that upset you, you are absolutely wrong, and I'm at you. And y'all, don't be putting your hands on these boys neither. You keep your hands off these boys. Quit trying to trying to antagonize these boys. You know, understand they are stronger than you. You know, and don't antagonize them and then run and get me so I can protect you and save you. And then the story comes back. You was messing with him first. You smacked him, or you hit him, or you tripped him, or you kicked him, and then he hit you. Don't do that, because that's not cool neither. Yeah, I'm on both of them, right? So the the respect for a man is the ultimate. You know, uh, love falls in there. You know, love falls in the top 5, but it's important for us to have respect in a relationship. It's important for us to be competent in the things that we do in life. And so respect, I'm not just talking about relationships. I'm talking about in general. Men want to be respected by people. Period. Men want to feel like we are competent in what we do. Period. Men need to have a purpose in their lives, you know. So, and Purpose is always misconstrued as some kind of grand calling. Nah, it doesn't have to be like some lifelong dream job that they end up getting. It doesn't have to be uh, it doesn't have to be anything like that. Purpose is just utility. You know what I'm saying? We want to feel like we are of use to you. Just don't express it back to us as if that's all we are to you, is the utility. Don't do that, right? Because it's more than just we want to be of use. We want to be of service. We want to have that kind of purpose in life and in someone's life, right? But if we ever ask you what we mean to you, don't start to label the things that we provide utility wise. Oh well, I love the fact that you empty the trash and pick up all the heavy stuff. And no, don't do that. Don't do that. It's like, now, don't get it twisted. Ultimate purposes will include striving to get that dream job and striving to get that dream career and things like that, you know. Uh, but having purpose in life, no man wants to wake up and be a purposeless man. Why are you here? Like that's, and I'm not speaking for no other man but myself. Hold up, where is my Libra thing? The hell? No. Again, speaking for myself, I do not want to continue to wake up and be a purposeless Negro. I do not want to wake up and continue and be a purposeless man. I can't do that. I don't know about other dudes. Watch my terminology. There's a difference between dudes, males, men, boys, and big bodies. There's a stark difference. So I don't know about other males. I, as a man, cannot wake up every day as a purposeless man, because a purposeless man is not a man. In my notorious opinion, you can take it or leave it. That is my subjective opinion. Other people may believe that you can wake up and be purposeless and be a real man. I don't believe that. That's just me. You know, if you a man and you can wake up without a purpose and you just here, but you have no purpose in life, far be it from me to hold that against you, bruh. Right? But for me and mine's, for me and mine's, you got to have a purpose in this life, right? So yeah, purposes of being immediate importance to a real man, right? In youth, and keep in mind, purpose transitions, right? Purpose can start at a floor and build up until it reaches the ceiling of that floor, right? And I mean floor as in the bottom of a thing, and then you have like the first floor, the second floor, the third floor. Once you reach the top of the first floor, now you're at the ceiling of the first floor, but you're at the floor of the second floor. So let me rephrase. You start at the bottom of your purpose and you build up your purpose as a youth, right? And then you get to the ceiling of your purpose, which is the floor of the next level, right? The bottom of the next level. And you level up. When you level up, you're at the bottom. It's no different than a video game. When you level up on a video game, you may amass all this stuff at this level. And then when you get to the next level, you're at the bottom again because You're at the top of that first level, but now you're at the bottom of of the second level, and you got to level up for the second level. So it's no different, you know. So on that first level, you're discovering yourself. It's all about self discovery because you don't know who you are. You have to answer the question as a man, who am I? If you cannot answer that question as a man, if you cannot answer that question, who am I? 3 words. Deep ass question. Who am I is was one of the deepest questions I've ever been asked in my life. And I've been asked some polysyllabic questions, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, it's been some the deepest question I've been asked in my life. The question that took me the longest to answer by far was who am I? You know, a lot of people, and I mean people, I don't mean just men, women too, can't answer that question in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s. Because if that question has never been pondered to you, if that question has never been passed to you, if that question has never been posed to you, probably never thought about it. You probably never sat back and thought about, who am I? You know, like for real, who am I? Am I my name? Am I my birth name? Am I my nickname? Am I the name of my family, my surname? Am I what I like to do? Am I what I love? What am I? Who am I? How do I find that out? You got to figure it out, you know? So that's what that that's what that initial stage is. It's self-discovery. You can see it in a baby. A baby is trying to figure it out. They're trying to discover themselves as a baby, as a toddler, as an infant. They're trying to figure it out, right? So they're trying to figure it out. So you had the self-discovery, then you go into midlife. They call some things midlife crises, you know. Midlife's kind of different though. Like if you have gotten to a point to where you have pondered that question, you've discovered who you are. When you get to midlife, you know, it tends to be about generation building. You know, that's what it tends to be about generation building. Uh, you want to leave a legacy, so you start to meet somebody that you could spend your life with. You have children. The ideas that you began to cultivate as a younger man, you start to see those things through. They produce a positive result. These positive results, be it financial, be it mental, you pass these things on to the next generation, hoping it continues. You know, you want to start generation building. You want to pass on what you have and what you know to the next generation. You know, you want to pass it on, right? So those are some of the things. All right. So new things. New things. Um, what oftentimes get overlooked when it comes to men is how important our tribe is. Our tribe is important, right? Not just important to us, but important. You know, like you can really tell what type of dude you are. You can really tell what type of man you are by who you choose to encircle yourself with. You can look around your circle. If you look around your circle as a man, as a woman, as whatever, look around your circle. If you look around your circle, it's like, damn, Bum ass mom. Bum. Bum. Drifter. Bum ass. Law of attraction. If everybody you surround yourself with are all bums, don't think because you're the only one with money that you're not a bum too. You're a bum too, more than likely. Or you just have bum energy and you attract bums. Look at yourself in the mirror by looking at who you willingly, willfully surround yourself with. You surround yourself with no good ass dudes. Check the source first, right? Check the source. So, a man's tribe is important to him because that's who you can say, I can rely on, right? I can rely, and I'm speaking about myself. I got guys that I can rely on to tell me whether or not I am on some bullshit. They will pull my coattail and be like, hey, bro, you on some real live bullshit right now, man. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, tighten up. Tighten up, bro. You on some real live bullshit. You know? Tighten up. And as a real motherfucker, you be all right. All right. You right. Because you know, you knew before they pulled up on you that you was on some bullshit. All right. You right. And a lot of times, all you need that coattail pull to get you back right. You right. I'm gonna do it. You know. So your tribe is important to you. Some of these things I'm talking about don't just deal with men. A female's tribe is important to her too. I believe. You know, I believe a female's tribe is very important to her, right? Uh, Another thing about a man and a man's tribe is one of the things about a man's tribe that is extremely important, right? And a man's woman is the ability to have emotional safety around these people, right? With your tribe, with your brotherhood, right? You have emotional safety. You know what I'm saying? If something tragic is happening in your life, I would not give one solitary single fuck how many people you shot, how many people you've killed, how many people you will shoot, how many people you could kill, how many people you done beat up, how many people is scared of you, how many people respect you. I don't give a fuck about none of that. If your mama died and you and your mama was like that, nigga, you gonna cry in front of somebody. I wouldn't give a fuck. And 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be one of your dudes. One of your guys is gonna get that call. You know what I'm saying? Or you just gonna be sitting around and one of your guys is gonna call you just on a humbug, on a wellness check. They gonna call you. Hey, what's up, bro? They gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? They just wanted to holler at they dude, right? Hey, what's up, bro? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, hey, what's up, man? Hey, man, you good? Nah, bro. Damn, bro, what happened? times, man. Immediately. Damn, bro, where you at? I'm on my way. And that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us tell each other, man, we don't got, my big bro Tommy, man, he say all the time, I don't got friends. I don't I don't have no friends. I got associates and I got brothers. I don't got no friends. You know, I feel him, you know what I'm saying? But I got friends, you know. I got friends because I work in circles. you know, it's 4 or 5 circles I got. Now, that outside circle, you know, y'all associates. And then you come inside that circle, you know, we cool. You come inside that circle, we friends. You come inside that circle, we brothers. You know, that last circle is only reserved for the immediate family that's in your household. You, your woman, your child, your children. That's it. That's that first circle, right? So, and then outside of that, you know, you get to your tribe of brothers, and you get to your friends, and you get to people you cool with, then you get to your associates, you know, and then there's everybody else. So there that is. So that tribe, that brotherhood, that is important to a man. And you got to look at the things that are important to a man, like a you can't necessarily look at it like um, some 50-50. You know, we don't we don't balance things 50-50. We can't give 100% of us to our purpose and nothing to anything else. That's we gonna crash. That's not sustainable. We gonna crash. You know, you may give 100% effort during the time that you are focusing on your purpose, but ultimately you have to have, and this is another thing that we need, and another thing that we have to have in order to get to everything else. We gotta have balance. You know, we gotta have balance. You know, and as a Libra, I really go in on the balance part. You know what I'm saying? So, quick question: what chair would you believe had more balance? A two-legged chair, a three-legged chair, or a four-legged chair? I'll wait. What chair has more balance? A two-legged chair, a three-legged chair, or a four-legged chair? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you said a three-legged chair, you are absolutely correct. I was about to drag it out, and normally I would, but I ain't got time to be dragging it out. Three-legged chair is correct. Four-legged chair, it may seem like it's more balanced, but it's not. The more sturdy, the more stable is a three-legged chair, right? So why you think why you think the ancient Cometians made pyramids and not cubes? There's a reason for that. There's a reason they made pyramids and not cubes, right? So you got to look at a man's balance like a investment. It's like a diversified investment portfolio. That's really what it is. You know, that's broken down into different things, right? So uh you got three legs and three levels, right? So uh you got your social leg, you got your physical leg and your mental leg, right? And they have different things in them that are very important to you, right? So your mental leg slash professional leg is going to have those professional things in it, right? So that's going to encompass your purpose. That's going to encompass your competence, right? Your autonomy, all that. That goes into your social leg, right? Uh, and then what else? The social. Damn, I forget the other one. Uh, but you take all these things that you need and you break them down into those three legs, right? You break them down to the three legs, and you come up with a very well-rounded, balanced individual, right? So, all that being the case, uh, the understanding needs to be that if any one leg is shorter, going back to the whole you can't give so much to this and take away from all these other things. If one leg is shorter than the other leg in any kind of chair you make, it's gonna wobble and you're gonna be imbalanced. You're liable to tip over and fall, right? So that's the goal. The goal is not to tip over and fall. The goal is to remain balanced, right? So there that is. All right, let's get to this. Let's get to this. Um, today's certified idiots uh, come from the letter T for Trump. All right. So, did you know that Trump promised to endorse Jake Paul for political office? I'm not playing. Like, Jake Paul came and spoke at one of his rallies, right? And now I'm not going to front, you know, as much as I don't, it's not necessarily even that I quote unquote dislike Jake Paul. It's just Jake Paul is like the poster child for white privilege at its finest. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the poster child for white privilege. Who else? Listen, as a real boxer, I can tell you the way that Jake Paul has gotten a professional record and the names that are on his professional record would take somebody half their career to do. And it's crazy. Jake Paul, Jake Paul has Mike Tyson on his professional record as a win. That is insane. You know, that is insane. Uh but actually, like I was about to say, Jake Paul, when he spoke at the Trump rally, he did a good job. Like he was well spoken. He was clear. He didn't stumble. There were no ums and ahs and oohs and whatever. He said what he had to say. He didn't say anything necessarily negative. You know, it's just he was with Trump. That's really it. You know, but because he spoke so well, because he was so eloquent, because he wrapped his stuff up and was really concise, Trump was like, yeah, he's going to be a politician. He does speak like a politician. And I could actually see that, right? The crazy thing is the fact that Trump just basically promised to endorse this man, whatever he runs for, he's going to win. You know, he's going to have the force of all of MAGA behind him. You did. So that was just that was just crazy for whatever it is that Jake Paul decides to do Politically, he's got the backing of the system. All right. Did you know? Did you know that the only difference between the U.S. Constitution and the Confederate Constitution is slavery? Again, I wish I was playing. That's the only difference. The only difference between the original U.S. Constitution, and the Confederate Constitution is that slavery was explicitly protected in one and was amended to prisoners in the other. Other than that, they're pretty much identical. It is sad. Uh, so yeah. Uh, what else did I want to talk about? Okay, so I was gonna talk about this tonight, but I'm not. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you a precursor into what I plan to talk about next week because, and the reason why I'm not talking about this tonight is because I want representation, right? So I was gonna take a slightly deeper dive into objective and subjective truth with the underlying topic being girl math, right? First time I heard about girl math was about two. It was about 2 years ago when I first started hearing about girl math. I'm like, girl math, you know. Now, me, I can look at things and be like, yeah, that math ain't mathing. Like the math that you come across in one institution and the math that you come across in another institution don't, the math ain't mathing. The math on taxes ain't mathing. I had a homeboy that put a post out there one time, and um, it showed he had went out to eat, right, and he had bought something, and the thing that he bought cost like 30 something dollars, and then he bought a drink with it. The drink was like 20 something dollars. So let's say that the meal was 35, the drink was 20, and there were $8 in tax, right? So what I say, did I say 33 or 35? So let's say it was 33.20, that's 53, and then you had $6 in tax. That's 59, right? Tell me why the amount that he owed was like $72. That math ain't mathing. 33, 26, 72. That math ain't mathing. So yeah, that's girl math. The reason I'm not going to do it tonight is because I don't have a girl on the show. I've reached out to people to see if they would like to be on the show. Hopefully they're watching and get back with me, and we'll do that show next week, right? Uh, and it'll be structured like it won't be just talking about girl math, but it's like, um, but that will be one of the topics, and I'm gonna have another guy on the show, So I'm gonna have a guy on the show representing the fellas. I'm gonna have a couple of women on the show representing the females, and we're gonna talk about girl math because guy math is different. Guy math is really simple, you know. Um, guy math is so ours is so simple. It's not complicated at all. We're gonna get into that next week. Um, but so yeah, tune in for that. So we're gonna do girl math. We're gonna get into how girl math figures into arguments. You did, and how um, how girl math confounds and confuses us, so we need y'all to explain it, because it don't make no damn sense to us. Even when you explain it, it don't make no sense. So I need somebody to explain this to us in a way that makes sense, you know, because that math ain't mathing. So yeah. So we're gonna do that next week. All right. What else do I got? Oh yeah. So I'm gonna do and it's not gonna be on a Friday, and I really can't tell you what day it'll be on. It's possible it could be on Wednesday, but I'm kind of waiting on the draft so I can do a Chiefs special, right? I'm gonna have some of my guys on here. We're gonna talk Chiefs. We're gonna talk draft. We're gonna talk free agency. We're just gonna talk. We're gonna talk the upcoming season. We're gonna look at these games and come up with what we believe the Chiefs' schedule is going, or not schedule. What we believe the Chiefs' record is going to be at the end of the year. What the chances are of them going back to the playoffs, going to the Super Bowl. How deep we'll go in the playoffs, things like that. So that episode's coming up. I'm really kind of just waiting on the draft because I want to do a pre-draft show and then a post-draft show. I just talked myself into it. So I'm gonna do a pre-draft show and a post-draft show. I'm gonna try to get different dudes on both because I don't want the same opinions on pre and post draft. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm gonna do a pre-draft Chief show and a post-draft Chief show. So that's coming up soon. Stay tuned for the pre-draft show. Soon to come. If this is your first time tuning in to Notoriously Opinionated, welcome. If you've been rocking with the kid, welcome back. Thank you for rocking with me for the last 5 years. Right. Got a lot of stuff going on. You'll see it on social media as it progresses and as it develops. But as always, tune in next Friday, 6-ish. to have some stuff to do today. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't as prepared at 6 o'clock as I needed to be, so I pushed it back a half hour. But yeah, tune in next week. Notoriously Opinionated, Friday, 6 p.m. ish. Somewhat same Notorious time, but the same Notorious station. You can see this on I'm Scrap the Film Guru on all social media platforms. So we are live now on Twitch, on Instagram, on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Facebook, right? Facebook page, Breakout Media Group. But if you type in Notoriously Opinionated, click on my face, you'll see it. So until next time, peace. I'm out.